Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special episode of Secret Group of Brown Kids at the Movies. This is our 2023 review special where some of the members of the Secret Group of Brown Kids goes through and lists their favorites of the year. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, we got Lola and we got Terra. Also, Kareem's here. Uh, Okay, so let's start with Lola. What was your favorite movies of the year?
I'm glad that you said it in the plural because I could not. First off, you sent me a link for the movies that came out in 2023, and I would just like it to be known that there were 34,272 films. And
Amen.
anyone that knows me knows that if it were up to me, I would have literally been here all day going through each one because a part of me would have felt that like the one that I was going to select is on the very last page and I have to go through everything in order to be able to make this selection.
I
So what
should
I
probably should have said it was by popularity.
Yes,
So,
and I figured that out. And once I took out short stories and documentaries and all this
mhm.
other stuff, then I was able to come up with four. In no specific order, but for specific reasons. So, uh, the Barbie movie,
Mhm.
because the monologue that America Ferrera gave towards the end of the movie really, like, I hadn't been as moved by something in a movie like that since I saw Wonder Woman for the first time. I don't know, just something about how she really hit on what it can sometimes feel like for us as women to have to try to be all things for all people at this at all times and how exhausting it is. That one really hit. So even though the movies, people have their own opinions on it, for that particular monologue portion,
Mhm.
it's up there.
Okay.
Um, Mario Brothers movie, I thought was the best adaptation of a movie from a different form of media. In this case, video games. I thought it was really funny. It was very surprisingly true to the video game, and it was entertaining. I like movies that I can just turn my brain off and just be entertained and laugh. And for me, No Hard Feelings was exactly that. I
Yes, it
think
was.
Jennifer Lawrence is hilarious. She's so good at like comedic timing and just awkward situations.
And I
Um,
could tell she was having fun in the movie
yes,
too.
it's
Yeah.
the same thing that my husband said. He was like, "This is like she's really enjoying this movie. It's nice to see her in this kind of a role where she can just kind of be herself." And then I would guess close to my overall favorite movie, maybe for 2023, was Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, just because I
Mhm.
love a really good action movie.
Yes.
And it's so hard to get good action movies that are also sequels, that are continuing a storyline. And I thought that for whatever you may feel about Tom Cruise and his craziness,
Look,
this
whatever
did
he
it.
got going on, yeah,
It's
that's in one
working.
thing. But the Mission Impossibles,
Kill it.
since so like, first one was great.
Hmm.
Have complicated feelings about the second one, but from the third one on, they just kept getting better and better. And like
Yeah.
up until this one, I don't know if I'd say this one was better than the sixth one because I love the sixth one, but this one was not bad at all. It was still great. It just I wish that they didn't split it into two, because like I'm
Yeah, I know.
going
Because,
in knowing there's a part two does something to my brain. I don't know, but it
well,
was still great, and I had a great time watching it.
that makes
So,
perfect sense because I didn't go in knowing it was a part two.
oh,
I'm
okay.
very like not there sometimes when it
It's in
comes
the
to like
title.
movies.
Why'd they put it in the title?
For me, I was just
You
like,
just knew
oh,
it was
the new
Mission
Mission
Impossible.
Impossible is
Yeah,
out. So I
I
played it
got
like
you.
I didn't even realize it. So I was actually a little like hurt, like, oh, like, and that's it. This is where you're leaving it. Like, we don't get anything else.
Yeah.
But those are probably like my top four: something funny, a good adaptation, something really moving, and a great action movie that was also part of a sequel.
I love
You
you
know,
all how you always take these so serious. And not make it funny, like literally you're like, I got my notes and here
yep.
are my bullet points, and I'm like, dang, we're a little ready.
I try
Yeah.
to be.
Did you have any non 2023 first time watches this year?
Non 2023 first time watches. What does that mean?
Like movies that just didn't come out this year that you saw for the first time, and
Oh,
you're like, dang, like I just saw It's a Wonderful Life, and like I
yeah.
just
Well,
saw
I mean,
Titanic. That movie slaps. Like,
I just saw Boxing Day. That came out in 2021.
hey, that's fair. I'll take it.
Yeah, I think off the top of my head, only because I just recently saw that one this week, I can't really think of anything else that was significantly old that I saw for the first time, but I have a tendency of doing a lot of repeats. If I like something, I'll watch it until I know every line.
Okay.
So I did a lot of repeats this year.
All right. And any messages you want to tell Podcast Land, aka our 6 listeners in Ontario?
That we are still as dedicated as ever to, exploring the cinematic universes that are out there and giving them honest feedback as to our opinions, our likes, our dislikes, our critiques, and our overall reviews. So, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Come back and see us in 2024.
Hey. All right. Terra, what was
Cool.
your favorites?
Again, much like Lola said, I am so glad that you said plurals, because I was fearful. So, much like she also did, was going through all the movies. No particular order, just things that came to mind. Talk to Me, so horror movie that came
Okay.
out earlier this year. I actually,
Kareem loved that one too. I mean, I loved it too. I'm
yeah,
just
I know it had a lot of
reminding
like,
Kareem that he's
Great
here.
movie.
yeah, and I know it had mixed reviews online, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I also pretty much
Fuck 'em.
enjoy damn near anything that comes out from A24 personally. So was happy about that. Wait, was it A24? No, it
It was
was.
A24.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. There was also a trivia fact I just found out about that movie not too long ago, that I'll have to come back and share later. But there is that. I watched Big George Foreman, which was on. I watched it on Netflix. I don't know if it
Yeah.
actually hit theaters or not. But to me, it was a very fascinating movie, especially with our generation. Like George Foreman is known for George Foreman grills.
Yeah.
So didn't really know a lot about him, like as a boxer, and as a person.
Oh,
So it was actually really fascinating to watch. And I'm not a huge sports person, just doesn't matter watching sports or the media format. But it was
Mhm.
just like it was a really, really good watch. Into the Spider-Verse, not in yeah, wait, the new Spider-Man movie that came out, I forget which one
Yeah.
of the names. Fantastic. Loved it.
Across the spider. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
Across
across
the
the
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse.
Thank you. Fantastic. Loved it so, so much. Just like a great way to pick up from the first one that came out. Beautifully done. Another soundtrack that slapped like nobody's business. The Killer, which I know me and you like messaged about when I first watched it, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is also like the most movies I've watched, I swear, in like my whole life. Because
I'm gonna take credit for that.
yes, I'm usually I will binge watch a TV show before I watch a movie. So I watched a lot more movies this year. I'm scrolling down the little list that I put together. They cloned Tyrone.
Yes. Yes.
What a phenomenal fucking
Yes.
movie that I feel like it had a lot of good hype when it first came out, and then like you didn't hear anything else about it.
Yep,
I
because
know.
it's Netflix movie.
Right.
Flash in a pan. They don't promote it. Nothing. They just it happens one weekend and then.
Then it's gone. But
Like even
so
if a lot of people watched it, if they all watch it the first weekend, then no one's talking about it in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
But
makes
it
me
was great.
It was, and they had a fantastic cast.
Mhm.
Everyone in that thing acted their ass off.
Yes.
Production was great. Like one of my definitely probably up there with one like between number 1 and 2. Because I also just really enjoyed The
Okay.
Killer.
Like
Like
just in like your like overall top.
yeah.
Okay.
Especially because we talk a lot about like black sci-fi, black horror, like
Mhm.
that film area of the world.
Yeah.
And like recently I found out that Jordan Peele worked with a bunch of black authors for books to put together a black horror anthology. So I have that to read sometime. And then there's a couple other new black horror authors that I just found out because horror is my thing. So I'm just like, apparently I'm into like black and brown movies this year, which is great. New movie that I had never watched before this year, which is probably baffling to a lot of people, but the whole John Wick franchise, like when you
Mhm.
hear about it initially and you're just like, he's mad because his dog got killed. which is always like the running joke. But then finally Die was like, no, we're gonna sit down and watch it. So I was like, okay. It's a good movie. Like
Yeah.
the first and second one are the only two
Did
I've
you
been
get
able.
through? Okay, that's my question. Yeah.
Yeah, only got through the first two and started watching the third one. And then, of course, I went and just spoiled shit for myself on the internet because I was nosy.
Terra.
I
So,
know.
question for you, Tara, because you've
Mm.
seen the first and the second one,
Mhm.
do you understand that it's a continuation? Like, so when you watch the entire series, just know that it's all like, imagine
Back
the
to
fact
back
that
to
this has
back.
happened in,
Like a week.
without saying, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, like within a week time span, like all of this. So like that's so amazing to me, and I loved that aspect of it, and it always
Yeah.
picks up where it left off.
The
Yep.
storytelling was really good. The actors are fantastic as far as the cast themselves. R.I.P. It was just good, like really, really good. And I'm getting more into like really solid fighting scenes. Shout out to Jujutsu Kaisen because every time I just watch Yuji fight, I just want to learn combat sports. And so I blame JJK for why I'm super into like fights now. Not that I haven't been before, but like I'm super tuned in.
Ooh, we
Um,
gonna get you back for the raid. The raid. Oh, if we could do the raid movies,
Oh my
and
gosh,
what's the third
yes.
one? It's not actually a raid, but it's like the spiritual successor to the raid. Kareem, help me out here.
I'm
Not
trying to
it
think of the
come,
name. I know what you're
not
talking about,
not
but I
it
can't think
comes
of the
at night,
name.
but it's something about night. The night comes for us
Yeah,
on Netflix.
yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, we'll go continue.
but no, like those are my tops for the year. It's been a good movie year, I will say.
Yes. All right. Well, any words for the people?
Happy holidays. Stay safe, stay healthy. Hopefully everyone leans out of 2023 in good spirits and places and into 2024 for even better things.
Awesome. I'm so glad y'all popped up here to say some things and some recommendations.
Always a pleasure, especially when I get to hang out with my twin flame. I see you, boo.
Exactly.
All right, guys. I got another recording, but I love y'all. Thank you. This means a lot to me. Okay, now we got Kareem. Kareem's back. He was on the first segment with Lola and Terra. Now we have Jamel also, and Kareem has his list ready. So,
Well, how many movies you see this year?
yeah, how many movies? I should so people could get the scope.
10.
You saw 10 movies this year?
Oh
Kareem, I
no.
know
How
you've
many
seen more
movies?
than
No.
10
Oh, I misheard the question.
2023
I
movies.
misheard the question. Dang.
I was about to say, you've been on 10.
You've been faking the funk the whole time.
That's a hard question because I've seen a lot.
You have a letterbox that you don't use?
I partially use it. So you brought me here to attack me.
No, I mean,
No,
sorry.
this is-
I'm just. Okay.
But no. I'm trying to get better with Letterbox, but I've seen a lot. I'm in the theaters at least watching movies at least. I'll say 6 times a month because there hasn't been a lot I wanted to see in the theaters.
6 times a month. Holy shit.
But as far as streaming, at least 2 movies a day I'm watching off
Do you
stream.
have a job?
I do.
Okay.
For Christmas season, Christmas season, we've been 100% remote, so I've been mainly watching movies.
Okay.
All right. So, about how many 2023 movies do you think?
Okay. I would say 50. 50 sounds like a
Okay.
good number. I'm gonna say 50.
All right, cool. Start the first question. About 50 2023 movies seen this year. Let's start it with favorite and highly recommended 2023 movies. Also, you can count 2022 if it didn't hit theaters or streamers until 2023. You know, like wide release.
Oh, okay. This is in no particular order. Just ones that come to mind wherever somebody says favorite movies. Creed 3.
All right.
Beautiful movie. Love how they finished it. Love how they included anime aspects in the fight. Yeah, all of it. Because Fighting Spirit is one of my favorite. It's a boxing anime. One of my top favorite anime. So that
no Ippo. Yep.
that hit home to me. Plus, loves me some Michael B. Jordan.
All right. He looked like a sexy otter.
He does. John Wick 4?
Yeah.
John Wick 4. I love Keanu.
That went hard.
It went hard. The action was lovely. The little slight comedic things were awesome.
Oh
The
man, Donnie
stairs.
Yen, Oh my,
Oh my God, Donnie did his thing.
that they made that stair scene was so. He fought up them stairs for 10 minutes. 10 minutes just to get.
Look, and you felt his pain
Look
having to go back up.
like that. That's cinema. I gave that a 10 out of 10, Jamel.
But
Honestly,
It left. If it leaves a mark on my soul, and that left a mark on my soul.
It did, and it is so hard to keep a series going and have me fully invested. And this has done it. This has done it.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons.
All right.
That was the most fun movie I've seen all year.
We had a lot of fun on that episode too.
We did. That was a great movie. It was just fun to watch, and I've watched it more than once.
Yeah, I remember saying that like you knew right away that this is the type of movie that you could just put on.
Right. Sisu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Sisu.
I like movies like that, and that character was such a monster.
Bruh, he was
he
driven.
He just wanted his gold. That's all.
Man, look.
That and that plane fight had me weak.
I was man when he beat him with the
Had a little bit of that John Wick to it too.
Yeah,
it did.
Like he was
just the legend of him. Like when someone like, oh, no, here's who you pissed off.
From the moment he put knife in dude's head, I was with it. Because he literally had nothing.
Man, I watched that with my mom, and like she was just cackling, like whenever she enters that whoop his ass mode.
I don't know who dude is, but he played that part. He played that part. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for same reasons with Creed 3. That's how you wrap up a movie. Because Guardians 2 broke my heart with how bad it was.
Bad? You thought 2
I
was
didn't
bad?
like it. What was it 2 when he was with his dad playing?
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
I like 2 as much as I like the first one.
I didn't like it. First one,
it's a half a step down, but it's still good.
2 let me down, but 3 did it for me. Everything
had me
about
in the theater crying over them damn animals. Oh my
god! Right. I was messed up. Let me think. Fast and Furious 10.
It was
all right,
fun.
guys, I gotta go.
All right.
I'm kidding.
Asshole.
Fast and Furious because it's a very fun movie. Yeah, it's what's the word? I guess out there as far as stunts and whatnot, like unbelievable stunts. But that's what makes it fun to me, and I just enjoy it. I can't wait for 210 or 11 or whatever they're gonna call it.
10-2.
10-2. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2. That was the best animated superhero movie I've ever seen. I loved the way it ended. I loved everything was happening with it.
Oh, you appreciated the cliffhanger?
I did. I was upset.
Look, it took me a long time to like figure it out, but in the end, I was like, I get it.
Yes.
I get it. Yeah.
I didn't expect it, at all, but not upset with it. Not upset with it. I love the fact that I'm gonna get a whole nother movie. Hopefully, I think they're still planning on doing it. They better be.
Yeah. I think they just got held up because of the strikes, but it's coming.
Yeah. Even ignoring the controversy it caused with the whole racist Spider-Man, quote unquote. Y'all didn't. There is a whole thing on TikTok where they believe that Spider-Man 2099 was racist towards Miles because Miles was the only quote unquote black Spider-Man, but he really wasn't.
But there's like 3
Spider-Man.
others,
right? But he was saying
there's Hobie, there's Jessica, there's
it's okay.
Right,
there's 3 other black Spider people.
It was. I'm not even gonna get into it because it was a reach. It was a reach, just like them saying that Gwen was trans was a reach. because of her costume colors that's the colors of the trans flag.
Hey man,
There
that's
says
why you shouldn't be on the internet too much. Just keep moving. Like nothing
okay.
against trans people or anything, but like,
It was
what?
it's that's her. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, if that's what you got from that movie, that's what you got from it. Cool, but like, whatever. Keep moving.
Joyride, hilarious.
Didn't get to see it.
But no, it was stupid hilarious. All of the actors did their thing. Even the girl from everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yeah,
Stephanie Shu.
she's
yeah,
good, man.
pure comedy. She's hilarious. Yeah.
She's in the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. She's great.
She made the character, not made the character, made the movie for me. Her character was hilarious. They cloned Tyrone. I love anything with John Boyega in it. He can't do no wrong yet. Jamie Foxx,
Don't jinx it. Knock on wood.
even though Jamie Foxx's face annoys me, he's a great actor.
What?
Just keep it moving. Keep it moving. No.
He's a great actor. What's her name? Julie
Teyonah
Taylor?
Paris.
Teyonah, thank you. Teyonah Paris, loving the role she's been in. She can play any role to me.
Look,
now.
man, the I really want another one of those movies because there's synergy between the three of them.
Right.
Oh my god, it was
Right.
funny. And like, did you see John Boyega posted a clip that didn't make it in? Of just her and Jamie in the car, just
yeah.
and he's sitting there like,
What? But no, this was a great movie. It was great. Talk to Me. I'm not the biggest horror thriller fan because they usually drop the ball somewhere in a movie that just makes me like whatever, and they're not scary to me. But this one, everything was perfect in it, and the ending that it would just I wanted no spoilers, but the ending was everything.
Chef's kiss.
Yes. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Love the remake. It was very fun. I love the dialogue is what sealed it for me in the movie. And I like how they didn't focus on the fighting for this one. It was more just about the actual characters. I hope it gets a second. Doesn't need it, but I do hope it gets a second.
Mm-hmm.
And then Master Splinter being like an old father, this old Jewish father. I loved it.
I'm mad. I went to get the 4K and like it was like $35 still, and like I hesitated. And I was like, wait, why is this more? Oh, because they only had steelbooks or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, I was like, damn it, I don't want to spend this extra.
but it is hard to write like kid dialogue in animated movies. Like it either will be great or just bad, and just, like make it feel authentic.
Here's the thing: they just let them talk.
Oh,
or I don't know if they. I remember seeing something along the lines of like them putting kids in a room and just letting them talk and recording their conversation to like get a feel for it.
Oh,
that's how they help write the dialogue.
That did it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Egg and egg and cheese.
Godzilla -1.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That's how you do a monster movie. That's how you do a Godzilla movie. The way they show the despair in those people.
I love fun Godzilla. Like they tried to do, or they did scary Godzilla with Godzilla 2014, and I love that too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a while since the old movies too were usually scary Godzilla, but I love fun Godzilla too, like the MonsterVerse, current MonsterVerse.
Yeah,
like it's like step on him,
right.
But like now with -1, I was like, no, don't step on him, run. Like I was scared for the people's life,
right? Because usually Godzilla movies, you don't care about the people. You like, okay, why are these people talking? Why is this scene so long?
Godzilla, fuck them up. And this time I was like, no,
I was so invested. Oh my god.
Oh my god!
But no, and every Godzilla movie always look how they introduce the beam.
Yeah,
because and it's so monumental to me. This was a great way to do the beam.
He was a fucking menace.
It was a nuke.
And then they introduced Ginza scene.
Oh my god!
That 10-minute scene of him just chasing the boat.
Look, my anxiety was on high. I was like, "Oh,
Look,
they're gonna
I
die."
was praying for these men. Like, please let this boat, don't let that engine fail. Lord, please don't.
Look, shoot. Um, Wonka. Just saw Wonka.
Oh, okay.
I'm.
Did they do the three-peat? Do they have three good Wonka movies?
They do.
That's wild. That's
This
awesome.
was great. Timothy Chalamet, whatever
Don't
his name
matter.
is, he played a great young Wonka.
Okay. All right.
He singing voice here, neither here nor there. It's not everybody can sing,
I'll be all
but
right.
he played. The movie was stupid hilarious. The bad guys is what heightened it for me because they picked some
Is
great bad guys.
Keegan Key one of them?
Yes,
I like when he
yes.
plays bad. Like when he was bad in Jingle Jangle.
Oh right,
Like
yes.
he's fun. He's a fun bad guy.
It was
Like cartoon level fun.
It was great. This was a very fun movie. Not sure if I'll call it a classic yet, but it was great. It was a great Wonka movie.
Okay.
What is it? What else? That Marcel movie, Marcel the Shell.
Marcel the Shell with shoes on.
Yeah,
I think that's from last year. It's okay. Keep going.
Oh. But I never expected that movie had so many tear jerk moments. I didn't expect.
Yeah.
A little movie about nothing really, because nothing was going on in the movie. It was just him talking, but I loved it. It was great. I don't have too many. I'll tell you like two more. There's one called Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. I think I love movies like that where it's just about some little person. Something they just want something simple and they just make it so big, so grand. Because all she was it's like 1960s or something like that in Scotland maybe, but she's a poor maid, and the only thing she wants is like a new dress that nobody's nothing used, just a fancy dress. And she saves up all of her money over like a year to go to Paris to get the dress made by this famous person. But it's just about that, getting that done. And that I like movies like that where it's just feel good type movies. And the last one, I'll just one more. Bones and All, that was from last year too. Bones and All, that cannibalism movie.
Yeah, I know which
Again
one.
With Timothy, dude,
It's your boy,
and the girl. I don't know.
It's on my DVR.
Is that her name?
No, it's on my DVR. It's not her name.
Oh, but no, that was. I heard something different. But no,
her name's like Taylor or Tyler or something.
It was definitely a slow burn movie, but it was a great movie. You will be drawn in and stuck on the whole story.
Okay.
And the sounds they made when they were eating, it was too much. I had to turn my TV down. I was like, okay, all right, I got it. But yeah, I'll stop there. That's yeah.
Okay. Well, that's Karreem's 2023 highly recommended.
Yes.
And any sappy end of the year messages you feel like?
Now I gotta do a sappy one. Okay, well, this 2024, go out, do new things, try something different, get out of your comfort zone. Be nicer to people. Just don't make that face.
I'm pointing at Jamel.
Oh,
you were looking at me. So we just gotta.
But no, just go out, try new things, get out your comfort zone, just be adventurous. See what happens. Enjoy your life. Have a good year. That's pretty much it.
All right. Now, Jamel, what's your list?
Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this quick. There were a lot of things that I wanted to mention.
Apparently, it's only 5 movies.
No, it's not. Honorable mentions: Dungeons Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. Especially, I just started playing D&D, and even if I hadn't, I think I would have loved that movie. It's super fun. It deserves more attention, and hopefully make the sequel.
Right. I love it.
Yeah, you mentioned Mutant Mayhem. I almost forgot about it. I had a lot of fun with that one too. I loved the energy. First time that I felt they leaned in on the teenage part of the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things. I say it, all the time. I love kids doing hood rat shit with their friends, and like they felt like kids doing hood rat shit with their friends.
Right. The creator is, I think, visually very good. I like it. It's not It's not as great as I was hoping for, but I think it's still worth a watch if you got some time and a good looking TV. It's you're not gonna regret putting that on. Godzilla minus one. I didn't like the last one from Japan. What was it Shin Godzilla?
Yeah.
I think
Don't say too much about it because that's actually one of the ones I was thinking about doing.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it either.
And I haven't seen it. It's not
didn't love it, but Godzilla minus one kind of brought it back. I love it as a throwback to like the original, like the 1950s origin. It's a solid movie all around. Definitely wasn't made for 15 million. Don't know where that came from. That budget's higher, but it's.
I think it's a lie too.
Yeah.
Or it's true, and it's just testament to how little they pay folks in Japan. They're at like the animators.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. So,
but also, and I really dig it. He still doesn't look as good as the legendary Godzilla, like from 2014. Like there's still this kind of thing about it, but
that's subjective. I think my favorite design is the MonsterVerse Godzilla, the one you're talking about.
The Kong versus Godzilla.
I'm not so much saying design wise, but like the real, like how integrated he is into like how the CG.
Oh, the CG with the blending and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's better than a lot of things, but it's there's just this. It's not quite there yet. Dumb Money was fun. I got Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. That's
on my watch list.
Yeah,
that's
definitely check that out.
Anyone comment about it?
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere. Hopefully it is. I don't know where to find it, but look for that. It's a really harrowing story. It's really good. I cannot remember his name off the top of my head right now, but the one who plays the interpreter, he's really good in it. Very intense performance. Gyllenhaal, but I don't know. Hopefully that guy can cross over. Bottoms was unexpectedly. Thank you. It's on Amazon. Bottoms unexpectedly really funny.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant to ask when you talking about Joyride. I watched Bottoms the other night. That shit was funny.
That was hilarious too.
Yeah. What's her name?
Rachel Sennott.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Apparently she's got some other projects that if you like Bottoms, you should go check out. But shout out to her.
She was good in Shiva Baby and
is she in Bodies?
Yeah, she was in Bodies.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that too. So yeah, she's out here. The Boy and the Heron is in my honorable mentions. I'm sorry, I respect the hell out of Miyazaki, but he's not always my favorite. The movie is very good, and it might grow on me in some time, but
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I need to rewatch it because I didn't get out of it what I thought I should have gotten.
Yeah, like I enjoyed it, but like it just didn't reach the upper echelon for me. Almost through these. Oh, there's a small drama thriller came out December called Eileen. It's got Thomasin McKenzie and Anne Hathaway. I didn't know anything about this movie going in, and it was really good. I don't want to spoil anything. It's just check it out. Eileen. It's got Shea Wiggum, who you've seen in a bunch of stuff. He was in that god awful.
He's in the Fast and Furious movie, or a few of them. He was in 4.
Yeah, he was in them early on.
Yeah, and then they brought him back in 5 or...
Look, he's in the new Mission Impossible that you definitely should see.
Yeah.
So, that. And he's in Kong Skull Island. He's the one who gets blowed up real good. That was really funny. But just given an actual really good dramatic performance that I don't see from him a lot.
He's usually always the dude that's just over it. Just some over it cop. Like
he is
too long.
He is an over it cop. he's still that. Yeah, just a really surprise last minute watch for me. So those are my honorable mentions. Karreem mentioned The Iron Claw, which I just saw. Really good movie. Pretty depressing for me, but very well made, and you might enjoy
Depressing?
Yeah. Oh.
I did not know that.
Don't look it up. Just go watch it. So in no particular order, my best movies of the year are The Holdovers, one I just recently saw, so maybe a little recency bias, but just a really good, almost like a throwback dramedy. Paul Giamatti, great as always. All supporting cast is really solid. It's not trying to do too much. Kind of a found family Christmas movie. Cranky teacher meets kind of an asshole student. They find common ground. You've seen this kind of thing before. It's well done here. Solid movie. I got Oppenheimer because Oppenheimer. You saw Oppenheimer. It made like $1 billion. So you already know. I don't have to sell you on Oppenheimer. Barbie's there too because I saw Barbie twice and it was pretty great both times. And also that made like so much more. You saw Barbie. Don't need to sell you on Barbie. Blackberry and Air. I'm going to cheat and putting them both in. They're sharing a slot for being basically the same movie.
You gonna leave off Tetris?
Tetris wasn't as good.
Okay.
I liked it just fine, but wasn't quite as good. But both these movies just again for you knowing exactly where this story is going, they made the journey very compelling.
Gotcha.
I really enjoyed the ride on both of those. I put this in the best and not in honorable mentions. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. We're going to drop part 1 because it's no longer part 1. We're changing the name for the next one. But like as far as an action movie, one of the
are they making it 3 parts?
No, they're changing the name because no one saw this. You freaking anyway. Barbenheimer killed it. Is what it is. You people should have seen it. Should have seen it in IMAX. It was amazing. It's a hell of a ride. Just like all the last, all these have been since, definitely since the 4th one.
I don't like when they change the name after the fact.
Well,
that's
they're
cheating.
doing it anyway. Dead Reckoning is dead. I don't know what to tell you. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Look, hey guys, cliffhangers, they're a thing. They've always been a thing. You guys liked the second Star Wars movie? I can't think of the name right now.
Empire
Strikes Back. That's a cliffhanger. Yeah. What's I don't understand the hate. This movie's dope from start to finish. It's just maybe the most
people don't watch. The people who are complaining don't watch movies outside of the usual, Marvel or Star Wars. And even though you just gave a Star Wars, but that's how little movies they watched it. They don't think like that. So
this movie's a visual feast from start to finish. I need to see this movie 10 more times, and I don't rewatch movies hardly ever. But that's just
people who watch a lot of movies just don't rewatch movies like that.
Yeah, and also I just remember it pretty good, but it was awesome. The only thing that might have been as awesome or more awesome as far as superhero shit, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Excellent end to the trilogy. I am with Karreem in that 2 is not as good, but it's better than he thinks, I think. But to each their own. But just as far as this is in a sense, the end game of the Guardians. Like this is the follow-up we needed after Endgame. It took all the plot lines that we had and it brought them all to a satisfying conclusion. While also, spoilers, not killing a single fucking member of the team, which you just knew half this team was going to be in a body bag by the end of this. But he's like, no, because like a show I really enjoy, sometimes life a bitch, and you keep on living. So if you haven't seen Guardians 3, definitely see that. John Wick Chapter 4, talking about coming to satisfying conclusions. I came out of that movie talking to my friends like, that might be the greatest action movie I've ever fucking seen. It is just mind-blowing. That first big fight in the, it's like a museum floor with all the podiums everywhere.
Yeah.
It just keeps going. It's like, it feels like a video game, but in a good way, where it's like, hey, remember at the end of the last game, we had these super buffed up bad guys? Yeah, we're going to throw every kind of enemy at you, including them. And like, some movies throw a lot at you, and they're a lot, and I end up being like, okay, yeah, I don't care anymore. This throws a lot at you, and you just want more. It's just they're so good. I can't say I fully remember a couple of the middle ones, but I mean they're fun rides when you're on them. But John Wick 4, it's between 1 and 4 as the cream of the crop here. They're just both
okay.
Yeah, and my number 1 movie, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Really?
It's
which one?
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Okay.
Can I
it's
see that?
3 hours, and it's just
3.5.
Oh, that movie.
It is absolutely enthralling. The story
I should just I haven't the time behind it.
I don't know really what to say about it other than like this is why I go to movies. I had a story about like when I went there and someone was like in my seat that I had gotten like hours ahead. I like to sit right there. on that row right before the gap in the Regal Theater, right there in the center. It's like be boom in the middle of that shit. And when I kicked the guy out of my seat initially, I felt a little bad. But by the middle way through the movie, when he's like literally answering his goddamn cell phone, I was like, you don't deserve to be here. You don't respect this shit enough. Other than the few other people in the theater with me not having the discipline to actually, watch a whole movie like a fucking adult, I was just in this movie for the whole time. I said the story is heartbreaking. The performances are all amazing. I hope Lily Gladstone gets her nomination, her win that she definitely deserves. I don't know. This old man keeps fucking pulling these movies out there. He knows what he's doing. Judging by the box office, you guys didn't see Killer Show Flower Moon. Fix that.
I saw it.
I mean you.
Oh.
Jesus. Not everything's about you, Tifron.
My bad.
No, definitely worth your time. So treat yourself to that. So yeah, those are my movies.
All right. Thank y'all. All right. Now we got Tim and Sherry closing it off. If they ain't make it, they ain't make it. So let's start with Cherry. What are some of your first time watches that aren't 2023 that you want to shout out?
Oh, that I want.
For-
oh, wait,
for
my
this
note
year.
closed. Oh, I got it. Okay. Sorry. That are not 2023 watches.
Yeah.
So first time watch for me this year, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies was funnier than I expected. A lot of times we recorded it for the podcast, and a lot of times when we do that, I go in completely blind. Like I have no idea what I'm about to watch because I didn't choose it. And so that was funnier for me than I thought it would be. So I recommend that if you haven't seen it. Oh, did you?
I loved this on my list. Spoiler alert.
Oh.
Well.
I'm waiting for it to come out on streaming so we could do it on our podcast.
Well,
Like, I feel like Tim would have fun with this movie. So I should have been doing this for the other guys, but since I, moment of clarity, right? Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is streaming on Paramount Plus if you have the option with Showtime.
Oh.
Also on Hoopla, apparently, which is free.
Yes, through
Through
your local
library.
through your local
Yeah.
library. Mhm.
So
I
you
have
might-
to set that back up again. I don't have a card currently. That's probably a 2024 thing I need to physically do.
There you
Like go
go.
and get the card.
Yes.
2024, get a library card so you can get Canopy and Hoopla for free.
And for those of you who don't know, since we're talking about Hoopla and libraries, even if there are a lot of libraries in the US that will offer you a card for a small fee for the year, even if you do not live in their state or area. So yeah, look into that.
All right. Okay, keep going. I'm sorry.
Don't Worry, Darling, even though I thought I'd like it, but I liked it better than it's one of those movies where the more I think about it, the better I like it.
Gotcha.
Like the longer it marinates in my brain. And then the Banana Splits movie, which is actually called The Banana Splits Movie. Very obscure, probably hard to find. I can't even remember where I watched it, but
I've heard of
unexpected.
that. I have heard of that, and I want to watch it. Sid and Marty Krofft stuff is crazy. On on face value, it's kind of nuts. Like the Dune Buggy show. So that as soon as I heard of that, I was like, I have to watch it. So I've got to track that down.
It was an unexpected favorite for me.
All right. Don't Worry, Darling is on my watch list because you watched it by yourself. It's all good.
I was watching it for the podcast.
And Don't Worry, Darling is on Netflix and HBO Max currently. I can't find the Banana Splits.
I believe you. Did you put in movie?
Yep.
Okay.
The Banana Splits movie. And the first thing
Yes.
that came up is Super Mario Bros. So it ain't trying. All right. What else you got?
Oh, that was it for that particular question. I
Oh,
should say.
okay. Well, what's your favorite 2023 movie? Or your list, sorry.
Oh, my list, because it was
Yeah.
long.
It's
not long. I stopped at
told
5.
I told you. It's
No.
I guarantee you it's not going to be the longest one on this episode. So it's like, what's your 2023 list?
Okay, so I picked 5 was Knock at the Cabin.
All right.
Because for those of you who like to read the book and watch the movie, it was a decent adaptation, and the changes between the book and the movie didn't bother me because that happens a lot. And I
Currently
think
on Amazon.
And I think the ending of the movie, I liked it better than the ending of the book, for those who hated the book because of that.
I still don't know how I feel about that movie. We saw it together.
We did. I mean, and my feelings might be related because of the book, but like Paul Tremblay is the author. I'm forgetting who wrote it. Anyway, that particular author tends to give kind of like ambiguous endings. And so for the movie to actually like pick a lane and end the story for you, like it was like I preferred it personally. So
interesting. That's neat.
Yeah.
It did. I will say it did have great performances.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Okay.
Even if I hadn't read the book, I would still think it was a good movie, but it helps. Okay. The Blackening, obviously.
That was fun. It was so fun. I'm waiting for it to come on streaming, so another one to throw on ours.
It's black. It's horror. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with that. Anyway, Cocaine Bear is also on my list. Cocaine Bear was funny. I don't know why I was surprised it was funny. Like it's called Cocaine Bear. Like, of course,
clearly.
Clearly.
It's like Snakes on a Plane. Like that's the same.
There's nothing logical about that situation.
Cocaine Bear's on Amazon right now.
Thanksgiving is on my list. It was a very good slasher. I love a good slasher. And Hell House LLC Origins: The Carmichael Manor. There you go. For those who have kept up with the Hell House series, because now we're at, I think, the 4th movie in the installment. The first one was pretty good. The middle 2 were like, ugh. And then this 4th one was a lot better. So
sounds Shudder.
Yes, it was very good. It's like a found footage documentary style. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, that's that list. Okay.
So that was Hell House is your favorite movie of the year, or was that just all just...
They were all.
No order.
Remember, I said that was. I mean, like, oh no, that was in no particular order.
No particular order. Got you.
No.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, any standout scenes that isn't a major spoiler that stuck with you from any of these movies?
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna give the least spoiler one first.
All right.
It still blows my mind that Robert Pattinson is the Heron in Boy and the Heron.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blows my mind.
Yeah. Like I know it was a meme. And so, like, and I hadn't seen who played who yet. So when I saw it, I was like, all right, let me figure out who he is. And I couldn't figure it out by the end of the movie. And I was like, ain't no way. Because the meme was like Christian Bale, and it was like he was playing, like you knew exactly who Christian Bale was. He didn't do anything to his voice. Yeah. And then Robert Pattinson was like, hold up. He played who?
I've only seen the trailer.
Okay.
And midway of the trailer, I was like, oh. What's his name is in this from The Lighthouse, but I was thinking about the other man from The Lighthouse,
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe. I
was like, that's got to be Willem Dafoe.
That's funny because yes.
In my head, I literally went, "Oh, what's his name from The Lighthouse?" And then like people started talking about it on the internet, like, "Man, you're not gonna believe it." And I was like, "What are they talking about?"
Now you're making me wonder if he was doing a Willem Dafoe impression.
No, that was as soon as it all came together in my head, I was like, "Wait a second, hold up a moment."
Before we saw the movie, I saw a TikTok that basically it was a Chris Pratt joke that was like famous actors doing voice acting. They just do their regular voice, and then here comes Robert Pattinson with like a plan and a vision board, and and so I was like, I went into the movie knowing that the Heron was Robert Pattinson, and I still watched the whole movie, could not tell at all.
There's like an extended trailer. And I'm like, I watched the extended trailer. I was like, this is a joke. They lying. There's some sort of co-voice thing. Like maybe the Heron turns into a boy later, and that's when he
comes in.
Y'all killing me.
It's funny. And
okay, my other two are gonna be super vague because I don't want to spoil it. So when you find out the answer in Bodies, like the answer to the question.
Yeah.
And then that final transition in Talk to Me that you also love. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I think about it just like randomly.
That was Karreem's too.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Was it?
That was on his list. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And any sappy end of the year messages?
It's not sappy
to the
at
4
all.
people in Ontario who listen to us.
Hello, Ontario.
Oh, Ontario. Good day, mate.
So it's not sappy, but I think everyone for 2024 should aim to read more horror books written by people of color.
All right.
Yeah, because publishing, for those of you who don't read a lot of books, publishing is just like every other major corporation. So just like with movies, if we watch a whole bunch of a particular type of movie, they all make more movies like that. It's the same with books. If we read more books by people of color, they will make more. And so like every other genre has had like an influx of like people of color being published, like not independently. What's the opposite? Oh, traditionally published. But horror is still one of the genres where like horror is already a genre that isn't taken seriously in publishing. But like people of color writing horror and getting traditionally published is still like on the low end. So let's do more of that. Buy more books.
The more of those books get popular, the more likely there'll be more of those books made.
Yes.
That will probably spur more movies and films being made of those, which means Octavia Spencer gets more work, and I don't mind.
Exactly. Oh, that's a good. If that's how we got to get there, yeah. I'm also on that boat. I love that.
One day
I'm in a funny movie. Next 5 minutes, I'm scary as hell. Y'all didn't even know.
Didn't even know. She was so good in that.
Oh God, it was terrifying.
Look, I could have watched 2 more hours of Octavia Spencer being like terrorizing these teenagers.
Me too.
These white children. Oh my goodness. I love how
want to hear the worst part of it.
What's up?
She a little bit too much like my mom.
Oh.
I mean, I get it.
It was like, okay, maybe I would pause this. Come back in about 15
minutes. And I love how the only person in the movie that was like, hold up, like was the black kid. She probably reminded him of his mom too.
Mm-hmm. No, you're not wrong. I think you're absolutely on the money on that. So talking about some get home safe.
All right, Tim, let's start yours off the same way. What were your first time? No, actually, I'm gonna flip it for you. 2023 movies, your favorite 2023 movies.
All right,
or
so
highly recommended or whatever.
I'm gonna just like get this out in the air. Depression gives me the memory of a goldfish. So there are like moments when I was like going through my notes going, what the hell is the following? So I'm trying my gosh darndest here, but was Barbarians not a 2023 movie?
Yes, 2022.
Okay.
So last year.
I know we watched a ton of them.
Yeah.
Oh, besides Killer?
Yeah, that was 2023.
Okay, so Killer is in a top area. It's not really a number. There's no specific
order. The last
order,
3 people to go have had in no particular order.
Okay.
So that's fine.
Killer was really, I guess, with all the espionage and cyberpunk themed movies that I tend to like watch and stuff like that I read, like there was this like real noir finish on top of that movie, but the outright unintentional, maybe intentional comedy in that movie of him being like, I'm the toughest, baddest, most together person you've ever seen in your life, and nobody is better than me. I spend days and days and days making sure that I get this shot. Fuck, I missed him.
Look, I'll put it to you this way. The episode that we did for The Killer, it was just Tim and I on it. And if you listen to us, you'll know the more people on the episode, the longer the episode usually, right? Mm-hmm. I still had to cut 30 minutes out of that recording to get us down to like 2 hours. Because we were laughing and talking about everything. Like it was...
like it is definitely in my like top cloud of what have you. And for being a new movie, it had like this, why is this movie from 1998 feeling on top of all that. I really, really did like that one.
I got you.
And then like I'm sitting here like again looking through my list, like I know. I guess that's the other problem is half the time
that's on Netflix, by the way.
It is on Netflix. You're right. Half the time I'll put a year beside the movie, but for a good portion of them that were in like the last 2 years, I didn't. Plus, I watched the movie Witches of Eastwick, not related to the podcast, and still took notes on it for some reason. So I also wrote Wolf, like watch Wolf, because I was like, yeah, I should watch Wolf to compare these two movies because there's this weirdness about them both. which brought my notes to Wolf of Wall Street, which is
Oh.
no, that's not the same thing at all.
When you say wolf, you talking about the one from last year with the boy that thought he was a wolf?
No, the one with brains. There it goes again. I can see his face. I can hear him talk. Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
The one with some of the worst marketing in the world, because everyone was like, "Oh, it's a serious, crazy, good movie where he's a wolf," and all I can think of is him flying through the air looking 50, and me being like, "That's unimpressive as hell." Sorry. And my girlfriend at the time wanted to see that movie really bad. So you should see 2023 has just faded away into my brain. I'm back in 1988 again. I still need to figure out this one thing in my notes. I wrote Raymond with the rental rolls. I don't know what that means. And I will remember what that is 20 minutes after we get off of this podcast, and I will text you. It's whatever I figure out it was. I have no idea what the question is anymore.
Oh, just the 2023 movies, your favorites.
So far, yeah, as goofy as it sounds, that's the one I can remember, like right off the bat, being like a really good movie from this year. And I still don't know why I started making notes of my own watches. Did I just get into a Tifron void?
Yeah.
Have you influenced me in a way that I don't want to admit?
It happens. I mean, I admitted on one of these episodes that's part of the experiment.
You have not stopped me from buying multiple pairs of Adidas. I'll say that. You can post all the ones you want.
Sure you don't want no J's?
Oh God, Hidden Strike, Tifron.
I mean, you
so
you don't gotta add that.
so now actually jump right past that. I thought 65 was a lot better movie than I think other people did.
Me too.
65, it stayed where it needed to be. It didn't try to be something it wasn't. I think that's kind of the problem is people were like, oh, Kylo Ren, I want to see some badassery. And it was like more like a survival movie, which I don't think people like to admit they don't like.
Oh, 65. Okay. Sorry. For some reason, you all said 65 and I thought 42. And I was like, Jackie Robinson? And then I was lost.
Yeah, Adam Driver's Jackie Robinson.
That's all on me.
So 65 was definitely in my top cloud. Air, before I forget. I thought of that one organically earlier and forgot that it was this year. It's funny, I just talked about Adidas and was like, nah. But I don't think I've seen a documentary as concise as that one. And I went back and like looked up some stuff because, trying to make the comparison of how much did they like fictionalize, how much did they massage. And according to a lot of the people, a lot of what they talked about did just kind of happen the way it happened. Like it was.
I think the biggest thing was like the number, but the rest of it was like that's kind of how it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they really, and apparently there are people here in town who I can talk to about some of those things, being that like this is the town Jordan was from. I think I sent you a picture one time of the little section of our local museum that like has just a tiny Michael Jordan section. But so apparently they're going to either extend that or make a bigger like thing about how he and several other sports figures were from here. So some of the people in town that knew the family and whatnot, they're still here and they're trying to contribute to like some of that stuff. So I kind of look forward to seeing how that all shakes out. It was just kind of a weird coincidence that around the time we watched the movie, I went to the museum. I was like, oh shoot, look at that right here. And who could forget they cloned Tyrone? Yes, let's close that list out with that.
Look, you missed that episode, so now's your chance to get.
Okay. So one of the things I noticed in the middle of like watching the movie, and this is probably something I don't know if anybody else has pointed this out. To me, it's a very interesting thing that there is a certain cover photo of the movie, or like the poster, and it has the exact amount of Tyrones that were in the movie. I know.
When you sent that to me, I was like, hold up.
I know it's not an accident because all that kind of stuff, especially with all the stuff they did in the movie, referencing the way things work.
Yeah.
It was absolutely not an accident, but I was like, that's pretty cool stuff right there. I like to believe that at least one Tyrone is still walking around unbeknownst to any of this stuff.
He just didn't watch the news that day?
Well, he goes to cons.
Oh.
And like he's just disconnected from the community. He'd be like, "Where's my hug?"
Oh man. Okay, Tim. What's for non-2023 first time watches that you want to shout out?
In or outside of the universe of the podcast?
Outside. Like anything you watched this year that didn't come out this year that you were
Witches
like,
of Eastwick.
Okay.
I don't know. I had assumed that I'd seen that movie. And one of my friends brought it up maybe around Halloween. And maybe 10 minutes of the movie, I was like, okay, either I've completely wiped this from my mind because I've only saw it once, or I've never seen this movie. And I figured out I've just never seen the movie. So sat down and really watched it. I took notes. And it's kind of, I don't know how long it's been since you've seen it. It's kind of one of those movies that's like, it's held together. It is held together by very weak threads. But there's like this agency that they give the women towards the middle part of the movie where they start sort of taking back their power, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got the most... there's something about the ending that feels like either they tested it and they decided to do something different, or some of the actors were like, I don't want my character like looking like such. Well, specifically Jack Nicholson probably. Nicholson was probably like, I don't want to be the bad guy. Can you make me look a little cool or something? And but other than that, it's just kind of like one of those movies I kind of felt like I missed out on. I'm glad I went back and watched it.
Okay. And any scenes that stuck with you?
Something about the scene in They Clone Tyrone where it's really not clear which Tyrone you're like watching.
Mm-hmm.
And then you suddenly realize that their plan was to grab another Tyrone and use him as like a way into the facility.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like this, oh shit, that's actually brilliant. And it kind of felt amazing that they did not let you in on it. Yeah. Like you had to figure it out as it was happening. It was like, okay, good.
Oh yeah, he's like, I got a plan. And then it starts to them executing the plan, but they didn't explain.
It's just kind of the next day and you're like, yeah. Okay, this is not really much of a play. Oh shit.
I got you. All right. And any sappy end of the year messages?
It's not anti-sappy. It's not as dour as it sounds. If you're having trouble thinking of what you want to accomplish this year, don't. Anything that you didn't do, you still got time. You haven't died from anything else so far. So nothing as bad as this year can kill you.
All right. And guess I'll do mine before. Wouldn't be some shit if I wrapped it up and I never said my favorites. It almost happened.
And there we go. Good night, folks.
That'd be your first email. You never wrapped up what you
said what your favorites were. Because it's funny. Because I think even on the last episode, so I think it was Jamel or somebody was like, "But what was yours?" And I was like, "This ain't about me" or something like that. But no, I got it. Let me see the order I want to do it. And I'm gonna start off with first time watches that aren't 2023.
All right.
Plan B, streamed on Hulu. Girl needs an abortion, but she's too afraid to ask her. I think was she Indian or I'm sorry, I watched it at the beginning of the year, but she was too afraid to ask her mom for help. So she got actually there's two movies with the exact same plot that's kind of blending together because I watched it at the beginning of the year. There's Plan B, and then there's another one where she asked like her old friend that's now like a goth nerd. And then there's one where she asked her best friend that's still her best friend. I think Plan B is the best friend one. Okay. So Plan B, streaming on Hulu. Girl needs an abortion. Hilarity ensues. Well, they're both comedies, but yes. Emergency, streaming on, that was Amazon, right? We did an episode on that. That was really fun. two college friends try to go to all 7 epic campus parties, but then they find a dead white girl on the floor, or she's unconscious. She's unconscious. She's not dead yet.
Yet.
Hilarity ensues. And they're black. Or they're black and she's white, so that's the crux of it is, oh shit, there's this unconscious white girl on our floor. We got to call the cops. Hell no, we don't call the cops. What? And so yeah, she's not dead. She passed out because she drunk or something. So then, Violent Night. We did an episode on that. That was last year. Santa killing folks. It was really fun. Good non-traditional Christmas movie. Vengeance, also from last year, directed, starring, and I think written by BJ Novak. What's his face from The Office?
Oh yeah,
that was surprisingly good. Host, which was, I can't remember what year it came out, but it was within the last few years because they made it during quarantine on Zoom, and
it was like 21 because we were still kind of in quarantine.
Yeah. And like they made the movie on Zoom, and the plot is they were doing a seance over Zoom, and like so hilarity ensues. And the cool thing about it is,
are you just gonna edit down your thoughts into hilarity
ensues?
Well, it's a joke because her thing on her podcast is
that things go awry.
Things go awry. So mine was a hilarity ensues.
Except you're saying that about some movies that aren't actually hilarious.
Oh, is that your rip? Is that your ploy?
It's hilarious now.
1 million people die.
Host
Hilarity
is
ensues.
Hilarious?
Look, I'm gonna keep going. Bram Stoker's Dracula also did it for the podcast. That was a fun first watch for me. That was it was out there, but it was fun and not even like I wasn't even like laughing at the movie. Sometimes I was, but I enjoyed myself.
It's good.
The House of Gucci, Adam Driver and Lady Gaga. I'm not sure if that was a Ridley Scott or not, but I think that's on Amazon. It was just good show. You see me trying to hold back the hilarity ensues. The black phone boy gets kidnapped by a serial killer, and he keeps him in his basement. And there's a phone where the past victims contact him, and it sounds really heavy, and I guess it kind of is, but like it was good. I think the book was written by Stephen King's son,
Joe Hill. He has 2 sons, so you got to get the right one.
Oh, are they both authors?
Yeah, so one goes by Owen King though, but Joe Hill's is less obvious.
I'll never forgive Joe Hill for changing his name because he could have had Joe King.
I don't.
And hilarity would ensue.
I don't know that his real name is Joe.
Oh.
Like Joe Hill, the whole thing is a pseudonym.
Oh.
His real last name is King. He doesn't write under King because he wanted to like make his own path in the world. And he's done a great job because he's an amazing, like if you didn't know he was Stephen King's son, like he's a great writer aside from the fact of who his father is. Okay. Although their writing style is very similar. And I would venture to say that Joe Hill might be a better writer than his father.
Ooh, gauntlet.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, Tom Hanks is a really good actor, but his son is a bumbleclot.
Oh, shit.
I was like, where is this going?
His other son's actually pretty good actors. Nobody cares.
Yeah, Colin Hanks is good too.
Colin Hanks is a good actor, yeah.
Orange County.
But Chet Hanks holds a special place in my heart.
When I first heard the audio from that weird Island Boys thing that was going on, I didn't know it was connected to those weird looking dudes. The very first time I heard it, I was like, is Chet Hanks just out to ruin my life? And I found out it wasn't him, and I was like, I'm still surprised.
He's a menace. He almost had me saying "White Boy Summer" or whatever. Almost, but I'm still team hashtag Let Chet say Bumbleclot. So
I say, as a West Indian, your voice matters, sir. I can't say that. I don't have the rights.
Look, we don't care. I mean, I don't care. I can't. I'm not speaking for the whole CARICOM summit.
All right.
But, so next up, Sundown, starring Tim Roth. Very interesting. Hilarity does not ensue. It's on Hulu, and it's about a man. It's one of those things where I can't give you anything because it's the way the movie plays out, you don't know what's happening until it happens, and then you're like, oh shit. So even that feels like I'm giving you too much. So like the plot is basically like he goes on a family trip to Cancun or somewhere, and the family has to leave and he stays, and you don't find out the why until later. Anyway, so you just be like, man, this guy's an asshole. But next up, The Last Duel, Ridley Scott, Adam Driver, Matt Damon. It was I thought it was well done, but I think a lot of people aren't going to mess with it because of the subject matter. But it was worth the watch. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. That was also on Kareem's list. It was very wholesome. West Side Story, Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. I thought it was well done, even though like I really dug the original. This one was still pretty good. Bodies. We already talked about that. The Novice, which I think that was on Amazon, or let me see real quick for you. But it's about a girl who gets on a rowing team at, I can't remember the college, but it was one of them like Yale or somebody college. And she just, you ever seen Whiplash? We might do Whiplash. Anyway, she just goes really too hard at trying to become the best. And like my letterbox review for it is, oh baby, no, what is you doing?
Who's in it?
I don't know the girl. I'm actually trying to find it now because I don't know. Just Watch is being weird, so I can't tell you where it's at. It's streaming on one of the like big three. And the girl it's directed by Lauren Hadaway, starring Isabel Furman, and you might know her from. I think she's the orphan girl.
From Orphan?
Yeah, Orphan.
Okay.
Orphan First Kill. Yeah,
okay.
She's a little girl. Yeah. So that's the type of movie you would watch.
Me, yeah, sounds like it. When you said Whiplash, yeah.
And it's like a quick 90 minutes too. The Color Purple, since I actually sat down and watched the whole thing for the first time, 1985. We enjoyed ourselves. I enjoyed myself. It wasn't all doom and gloom. It was a lot of comedy, and like it was fun, and then at the end I felt great. So yeah, great movie. I understand now.
It is not, I mean, if you watch a lot of like old timey black people in segregation like kind of movies, I can see why you would assume it was
oh yeah,
heavy, but not at all. No.
Yeah, just in the first 10 minutes for real, and then
and then it
gets better. Yeah,
it slips right by a lot of those tropes to just sort of be like an open sort of world, just a lot of character development.
Yeah,
it's a lot more interesting than like it seems on the forefront.
Like when people describe it or talk about why they don't want to watch it, it makes it sound like it's Precious by the novel Push by Sapphire or whatever. But Precious is straight torture porn. This, in the beginning, you're like, oh man, her life sucked, and then as the movie goes on, it was like you're enjoying yourself. I never enjoyed myself during Precious.
No,
so it's the opposite.
That was a rough movie to watch.
Real quick, Drive My Car by Ryusuke Hamaguchi came out. I think it was 2021, and it should still be on HBO Max.
I keep forgetting to watch that.
It's a long movie, and so don't watch it sleepy, and you got to read and everything. So don't do that. But it's one of those subtle movies that are like Asian cinema's really good at. Oh wow, okay, and you don't realize how much it really hits you. Also, it's not so much about a car, unless you just are really fan of that Saab that he drives. But yeah, it's about relationships.
It's a very specific Saab. I'll say that much.
It's about people interacting with people. Anyway,
possibly one of those things where they could have picked any other like 80s specific car, but they went with that.
Yeah.
I will. I am looking forward to that. I keep forgetting about it though.
It's on HBO. You're gonna have to clear your afternoon because it's long as shit. But yeah.
Don't watch this. Sleepy should be one of your letterbox categories.
Oh yeah. But it's very good. It's very good. And yeah, Memories of Murder from Bong Joon-ho, who did Parasite.
Oh shit.
My letterbox review for that one was shame on me for expecting a good murder mystery. And leave it at that. But it's very good. Since this is my last one for this category. In 1986, Gyeonggi Province, the body of a young woman is found. You know what? I'm not going to read that. But anyway, they're trying. Two idiot cops are trying to catch a bad guy. Yeah. So that blew me away, especially the top three. My top three non-2023 absolutely blew me away. Now, for my actual 2023 movies, I'm going to start at 30 and just run through them until I get to like the last few. Theater Camp on Hulu. Hilarious. This idiot takes over his mom's theater camp and tries to save it. And he is not a theater kid, but everybody else is. Hilarity ensues. Infinity Pool, also on Hulu. Handsome Skarsgård and Cleopatra Jones are married and they go to some made-up country and get in some trouble. And the country has a very interesting way in dealing with foreign troublemakers. It's a horror. If you haven't watched it yet, Cherry, you should watch it on Hulu. It's a horror, but not horror. It's categorized as horror, but like...
So a thriller more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's categorized as horror thriller. But, all right, next up, The Last Voyage of the Demeter. That was, remember Bram Stoker? I said that watching that was like watching a side story. Or the Last Voyage of the Demeter was a chunk of that novel. And so that was pretty good. The journey from Transylvania to England.
Like accidental companion pieces.
Yeah. Gran Turismo. I just skipped one actually, but it doesn't matter. Gran Turismo, very good racing scenes. I didn't think I was going to care as much as I did, but I was fully invested at like 30 minutes in. I was just like, holy shit, yeah. And like, we were watching it. And at some point she was like doing stuff in the kitchen, but she could still see the TV and see me, right? So I was just like yelling, oh my God, do you think he's like, I was really into it.
I've gotta watch that one. I keep there's like a couple of days I just been like cleaning up and doing junk, but I do plan on watching that one. It keeps popping up on Netflix, trying to bug me.
Yep, it's on Netflix.
Now I can't mess up and accidentally say Gran Turismo when I mean Clint Eastwood's movie. So
Gran Torino.
Yeah, now I gotta clarify. Yeah. You know, Gran Turismo, Clint Eastwood. You know, being racist to Asian people. What? What? No, excuse me.
That's not the movie I saw. Yeah. Also on Netflix, Nimona, animated feature with she's a shape-shifting girl and she hooks up with this disgraced knight that's on the run for killing the queen and hilarity ensues. All right.
Bringing it back around.
Very, very well done.
You got it.
Megan, M3GAN. That was that I had a ball with that. Oh my goodness. I think it's on Amazon. I don't really have to describe that movie. Everyone knows what it's about. The killer doll.
What if we took Chucky and we combined him with the movie AI? No, that's not what this is. This is a lot weirder than you think. I think it's gonna be great. All right.
Yeah. Sisu, technically 2022, but it was wide released over here early this year. Was it not Russian? Where was he? Some Scandinavian country. I mean, no disrespect. I don't mean to lump all y'all together. But it was a Scandinavian country and like the Nazis were invading and there was this dude that was just out there digging for gold and he found a big old gold nugget and he was going to go back and sell it. And but the Nazis were like they're not really invading. They're like on the run. Like they're about to lose the war, but they're just hauling ass. And like he passes by and because they're evil, they decided to mess with him. And they mess with the wrong one because he's just old, hardened, crazy soldier that they sent out there because he couldn't really fit into society anymore. So they're just, all right, here's a horse and a pick, and go dig for gold or something. So he's out there by himself for a reason, and they messed with the wrong one, and they took his gold, and he about to get it back. Absolute nuts. So moving on. The Blackening, loved it. It was fun. Can't wait till it's on streaming so we could have some more fun with it.
All right.
Fast X.
X, he says.
He's at 20. Fast 10.
Your seatbelts.
He's at 22 on my list, and that's because the latter ones, like, they're still fun to me, and I absolutely love Fast and the Furious. I'm still having a great time, but 5, 6, and 7 are like the pinnacle. And we're gonna go through all the Fast and the Furious eventually. But
I'm gonna talk too much
Yeah,
during Tokyo Drift.
Look,
that's my jam.
Because you can't. The rest of the series hangs in the balance of Tokyo Drift in ways that people don't even pay attention to.
Exactly.
Tokyo Drift's still my favorite one.
That's the pinnacle one. That's the pinnacle one. That's when it officially becomes anime.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's when it becomes anime. First 3 you can say are the setup. That's the groundwork. That's when the grandma and grandpa are meeting. That's when the magic starts. But like 5, 6, and 7, that's prime. That's like Big Mama Thanksgiving Christmases, right? 8, 9, and 10 is after Big Mama died, and the cousins are like, look, we just trying to hold the family together, so let's just go on some trips, and we're just gonna have fun because we love each other's company. And so they go to Dominican Republic and Vietnam and get into some wild shit and might get arrested. But like the wholesome, like the beautiful wholesome chunk is 5, 6, and 7, and then everything after that are bonus missions. But you still want to go on the bonus missions with your cousins like that. So that's where 10 is, right?
10 is like that trip to GameStop where nobody's buying anything.
Yeah, but you're still
you in there, but you're just like,
It's like that time in your life where you didn't have no money, you just had friends, but you still found shit to do, even if it's just walk down the road kicking rock, but y'all still hanging out. Like, actually, now these metaphors don't make any fucking sense.
The metaphors have jumped the shark.
But what I'm trying to say is it might not be the pinnacle of the franchise, but you still have fun with it. And I had a lot of fun with it. And at this point, they're just leaning into, they know what they are. They're not trying to be anything other than ridiculous fun. Minus Vin Diesel, who's in his own movie. But everybody else is having fun.
We don't have to talk about this too much longer, but I stand by this. I wish the movie would end on regular old car racing against people who think they're the best at car racing, and have everybody go, "What? We're back to that? We made it all the way back around to just racing?
Full circle.
No spies, no like government espionage, just like dude over here says his LS1 will beat your rotary hands down. Well, I got $30,000 that says he's wrong." And then right when you're just kind of like, holy shit, this movie can't get any better. Do 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 do. Yep. He was like, what?
Teriyaki Boys make the return.
The movie's just racing. The whole movie's racing. It's 2 hours of racing, and you just going nuts in the theater. Concierge comes in with the flashlight and they're like, "Hey, all y'all people going crazy. It's about to get even crazier. Free drinks for everybody."
But we'll come back to Fast and the Furious, don't we?
One day.
The Marvels, I have a whole rant about how it did not deserve the rap it got, but that's for a different time. I still
haven't gotten the chance to see that, but I from the two people that I trust, I've heard that it's actually still better than the last Ant-Man.
It's a good movie. The thing about it, people don't want, or at least nerds don't care about fun little movies, and it's a fun little movie. So whatever.
You can't pitch everything as stark as like Endgame. You couldn't enjoy it. There's no enjoyment of just being like on edge the whole time.
Yeah, and also people keep putting so much emphasis, or at least that's what they use to try and shit on things with how much money it makes, and it's like you can't do that in this day and age where all these studios built out streaming platforms and trained their audience to wait 2 weeks till it comes out on streaming.
Yeah.
So it didn't make any money in the box office. Okay, well that's the studio's fault for cannibalizing its own profits.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Tell them why you're mad, son.
Right? Yeah, I had to check myself. The Killer, watch our Killer episode. We already talked about it. Very fun.
Yeah.
No One Will Save You. Already talked about it. Very fun. Watch our No One Will Save You episode. Okay, we're
hilarity ensues.
Hilarity ensues. Aliens. Okay, we're in the top 20. Tetris, which is on Apple TV Plus. What I expected was more along the lines of Air. I got that level, and then it turned into a spy thriller, and I was like, "Holy shit! What? All of this behind the game Tetris?" Which is wild, but it was well done, very well done. Barbie. Barbie needs no more advocates. Everyone knows it by now that it was a good fun movie. Moving on. Bottoms. Oh my god, that was funny. 2 teenage lesbians in high school start a fight club under the guise of self-defense, but really it's so they can lose their virginity or whatever. Now, they really start a fight club. And they obviously they told some lies, and yeah, you know how it goes, but it's so funny. Like anyway. Air, already talked about Air. It was just, we did not expect it to be so well done and so funny.
Absolutely not.
Like, I still do like Ben Affleck voice. What's his damn name? Phil Knight. I still do the Phil Knight voice. Yeah, just so how did mom take it?
he put more effort into that than he did into his Batman voice.
Yeah, I'm mad because I like Batflick, but you're right. He did put more.
He put a lot more effort into his Phil Knight, like the mannerisms and everything. Because there's like a little clip of Phil Knight just walking outside the building, and I was like, "You copied his walk, bro."
Look, method.
So I'm gonna need to hang out with you a couple days. Ben Affleck, where the hell you come from? Oh, I heard you're Phil Knight. I'm just gonna shadow you. For what? Oh, the movie.
The way you just
said, you're not working on that for 2 years. Yeah, I'm working on it now. I'm working on it right now. What do you like to eat?
The way you just said Ben Affleck reminds me that I had a character in World of Warcraft. It was a warlock named Ben Affliction. Actually, I had two. I had Ben Affliction and Matt Demon.
Demon. Matt Demon's like a nerd rapper name.
But like at one point, a lot of my characters were like stuff like that. Like my main was Oprah Winfrey. She was a shaman. Anyway. So next up is Killers of the Flower Moon. Scorsese made a 3.5-hour movie expecting white people to go see it and be told that they're horrible for 3.5 hours. And they didn't really. So I went and saw it. And me and my mom were laughing in the theater at how uncomfortable all the white people were in it. Like there were some jokes and stuff that were clearly jokes that we laughed at, but they didn't even want to laugh. And then we started laughing even more anyway, it was very well done. But, Scorsese needs no, defenders at this point. The creator, dude who directed Rogue One, he did this one. A lot of people like, it's not original. It's not original. I mean, nothing's original, but it was, I still enjoyed it. It was cool. Also, Baby Denzel doing sci-fi, I'm here for it. They cloned Tyrone. I already talked about it. So much fun. Just barely missed my top 10. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I absolutely fucking hate that name. In fact, didn't we hear yesterday that Jamel was talking about that they're going to change the name now? I hate when they do that. The only thing I hate more than this name is that they're going to change it after the fact, because they do that sometimes, thinking that it's going to sell more afterwards, and it's like, nah, stand on your bad decision. Like,
well, it's weird.
Like Edge of Tomorrow, when it came out on DVD, they changed it to Live Die Repeat, and it's just like,
oh God, right?
Did that really help?
About that.
Did that really help? Anyway, speaking of Tom Cruise, they're doing it again. It's probably him. Now I think about it.
It's probably him.
But aside from that, this was a really great movie. Even though it was technically half of a story, it still did the thing where it can still stand on its own, even though the story's not done. And it was just, watching it gave you that feeling, or at least me, when I'm in the theater and I'm watching it, I'm like, this is why I love movies. And it was so much fun. And I'm almost as big as a fan of the Mission Impossibles as I am about Fast and Furious. And they actually almost do this. They have kind of the same arc too. So it's pretty neat. Top 10. Talk to me. We already talked about it. But very good horror movie. Very good. I was very impressed. Equalizer 3, bruh. Like, man, look, it's my favorite one. And it actually comes out on streaming on Netflix tomorrow. So by the time this episode's posted, it should be up. Cool. Equalizer 3. It's just so good. And it like basically they what's his name? Antoine Fuqua did this thing where so the character's in Italy, right? Denzel's in Italy, but he also kind of made the movie feel like an Italian slasher. Like, it's almost like Equalizer's the freaking boogeyman in this one. And I was loving it. Like, he had them people shook. Anyway, Creed 3. I know...
wait, really? Was he like a man on fire?
He was a different kind of shook. Like, you know how he was just blowing up shit in Mexico City in Man on Fire? Like this one, he had them afraid to turn out the lights.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. But just the bad guys.
Creed just 3. The bad guys. Yeah. Seriously? Creed 3, okay.
Why you didn't like it?
I mean, I liked it. Top 10 though. Those are big words.
Okay, well, you know why this is my top 10, because it was anime. That's why. Look, I already was a fan of the Creeds. I'm gonna tell the truth, and I haven't seen all the Rockies, but I'm a fan of the Creeds, and you know him and Michael B. and Jonathan Majors, who is, you know, Public Enemy number 1.
Rest in peace, Jonathan Majors.
R.I.P. Jonathan Majors.
Look, I still got hope for him, but you know, I don't want to say too much because y'all gonna cancel me too. But hopefully he can pull shit back together. You know, hopefully, because this was such a good movie. Like the whole arc and like you know, I've seen it in anime all the time, but like, and I knew Michael B. Jordan was a freaking weeb. Anyway, I love when you can see that inspiration bleed through, and it was so much of it too. Like, down to like specific, like, oh, that's the Goku Vegeta fight. Oh, that's the fighting spirit, like all of that. And that was I think this is on Karreem's list too. So moving on, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem.
Speaking of weird people to get canceled.
What happened?
I think it's the kid who does Leonardo's voice.
He
was once a voice actor for Gumball. He was one of the kids that played Gumball on the Amazing World of Gumball. I think that's the name. He's well, I'll let you look that one up. That's oof is how the kids say that. They call that oof, I think the kids do.
His friend recorded him saying some shit he shouldn't have said.
Oh my god. And he was, when they asked him about it later, he didn't back down about it. I was like, you don't have a publicist, do you?
At some point in the thing, he was like, I'm autistic and this and something, and I'm still going to say it anyway. And I was like, man, chill.
As someone who regularly works with autistic teenagers, that is not an excuse.
No, not one iota.
They might not understand why they shouldn't say certain things, but they do remember, well, my mom said I shouldn't talk like this.
Mm-hmm.
They might not agree with it. They might not get why, but like someone in their life, don't do that.
It's like, I don't like the social things that I don't understand these social things, but once you tell me them, I have to adhere to it.
But they are able to retain that they're just certain categories of things that you just don't say out loud. Like,
you can't just smack somebody in the face because you don't like the light that is shining off of them.
Right.
Okay, I won't do that again. Boom.
The issue with him, it seems like he already built an ego. So like,
off of Gumball?
Look.
It's funny that you guys are saying that because I can't think of his name, but the guy who was in Community, he was on Larry King, and Larry's like, "Oh, tell me some cool stuff. You know, what's some rich people stuff you like to do?" And he just goes, "Larry, I'm on DuckTales." This guy is the opposite. It's like, I'm Gumball, motherfucker. I can say whatever I want. No, you're one of many Gumballs. I'm not even sure you're the one I like. I can never tell. Good direction on that part, but you, who knows?
Yeah. So hopefully he can get it together.
Leonardo. Good on you.
He's young. Hopefully, someone can talk him down. But anyway, Rylane, top 5 or no, not top 5. This is number 6. He got bumped recently. I'm sorry. I was like, man, I hope Rylane can survive to the top 5 by the end of the year. And it just got bumped, and I'm sorry. But
I'm gonna take credit for that because I recommended that movie to you based off the trailer.
Oh, okay. All right. You still ain't watch it though.
Nope. I told you when I recommended it, I was like, I saw this trailer.
This is a Tifron movie.
And that's what I said. I said, this looks like a Tifron movie. So I'm going to suggest Rylane to you. It looks like something you would like. And I was correct.
It was a sweet movie.
I believe you.
I don't even deal with romance movies if I don't have to. And there was something about that movie that was like, hey, cool.
So watch that episode because we got a Rylane episode. It was our 3rd or 4th episode. Maybe 4th. Yeah. 4th episode. So go back and watch that. Funny. Remember, I checked the stats almost every night. That one's been creeping up. I think it's now our 4th most listened to episode. And like every couple of days, it has one more listen. And like it just creeped up over the last 2 months.
That makes sense. The holidays are like a high time for romances.
Okay. Also, we did the Boxing Day episode, and I was like, even though nobody listened to Boxing Day, so that can't be it. Anyway.
Well, there could have been people who watched Boxing Day who said, hey, this reminds me of this movie.
Oh, that's true.
And their friends went, what movie is that? This one. Check it out.
And then they ended up finding us. I got you. So top 5. Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. Great episode, had so much fun. I mentioned it already earlier with Jamel, where it's one that you could just put on, and you knew that watching it the first time, like, damn, I'm having so much fun. I could just put this movie on whenever, and 4, Oppenheimer. Again, we don't need to get into it because it's one of the biggest movies of the year. That and Barbie, right? So it was great. Nolan managed to tell. He didn't do a noir. He didn't do a sci-fi. It was just a biography, and still managed to put all the Nolanisms into it.
Yeah,
it's still not a linear story. It was neat, but very well done, very well acted. Top 3, Guardians 3.
Oh yeah,
cried a bit. Not gonna lie.
Oh,
good ending to their little trilogy, and I think I have all 3 at 10 out of 10s. So.
Wow.
I have a special place in my heart for the Guardian stuff. So, not going to get into that too much. All right, top 2. This was so hard because it's possible this could switch in the future. I just didn't want it to be recency bias, but Godzilla -1 is at number 2, and absolutely blown away by that. Absolutely. I mentioned we talked about, or not with y'all, but on the Jamel part, already talked about it, but like just for y'all, it was Scary Godzilla, and usually I'm like, yeah, step on him. Nah, I was like, nah, y'all gotta run. He coming, Lottie, come and run. Like I was scared for these people. Godzilla was a fucking menace. Absolutely amazing movie.
I preferred Godzilla Destroys the City Godzilla versus Godzilla Saves the City Godzilla.
Man,
I do prefer.
I love both, but this one was so well done because like I wanted. Like last time I saw a Scary Godzilla was when they started the MonsterVerse in 2014. It started out with Scary Godzilla, and then they switched it to Fun Godzilla, which I'm not mad at, but whatever. And my number 1, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Hey-o.
Just not only is it like memorable in the fact that like that was the first time we took our son to the movies.
Oh, nice.
But the movie just went so hard, and there's nothing bad I could say about it. I know some people hated the ending, but I've decided I'm fine with it. It's all good. I absolutely loved it, and but choosing between this and Godzilla was rough.
Oh shit! They're still playing Godzilla today at 6:15.
Yeah, they added that. That's how good it was. It only had a week wide release, right? It was only going to be in theaters for a week. And we yelled about it so hard that they kept adding showings, and now they've added showings all the way through mid-January.
Oh shit! I might have to just look. I'm not gonna do it today. That'd be overkill. I don't want to give nobody extra work. then the retail brain of mine, like they there anyway. Just one more person.
They're there anyway.
Ain't my fault. They
if you
should
buy
get a
your
better
ticket,
job.
if you buy your ticket ahead of time and you don't buy any food, all you're doing is causing one more person to scan your phone.
That's a good point.
But anyway,
afternoon.
look, I'm not going to do any favorite scenes because I talked too much already. But I just wanted to say thank everyone who's been with us since we started in March. We've done 42. We've done 43 episodes. 42 has been posted. There's been 11 of y'all, my friends, on the podcast so far. Thank you. Thank friends. Thank listeners. It means a lot to me. So that's my sappy end of the year message. And we're going to continue in next year. So Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right.
It feels like the end of Evangelion for a second.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Y'all do that at my funeral.
Congratulations. Okay.
Yeah.
Your one weird white coworker that doesn't watch anime just like, what are we doing? What the fuck is this a black thing?
Look, say congratulations and then play the Paul Walker Fast and Furious 7.
Absolutely not.
I can't. That's my final wish, and you won't do that?
You have had so many final wishes.
Can't do mine. It's illegal.
Do I want to? Anyway, bye, guys.
See you next year.
Bye.